Unfortunately, DigitalBits XDB has taken a hit this past week. We've broken below an important support level right here, and we are facing downward action. The question is this an area where we're at right now? Can we currently get a bounce there and look for some upward action or temporary relief, or are we headed for some lower areas to continue a much bigger failed pattern? Let's take a look at that today, but not only will we look at DigitalBits against USDT, we will also be looking at DigitalBits with Bitcoin, because I see a potential huge opportunity there, and it's currently my play for this, a way that I can use DigitalBits to increase my Bitcoin position. Stick around and let's talk about it. Road Dog Crypto. Welcome back to Road Dog Crypto. My name is Lane, your crypto road dog, helping to guide you through this crazy world that we call crypto. And today we're looking at DigitalBits, both on USDT and also on the Bitcoin pairs. And this is a coin that we've been tracking for quite a while, that I've been in and out of trading. I currently do have a bag of DigitalBits, which, is in drawdown at the moment with recent events. But it's one that we've been trading very successfully here at the channel. And we first got into it during a live stream when a subscriber named Donna mentioned this coin. I saw some potential in it, so we started tracking this. And during the course of this, we had an accumulation zone usually between 0.004 and 0.005 cents in that area. During that time, we had a huge falling wedge pattern that we broke out of. Now, this was more of a steeper pattern, which means that, they don't break out as hard and fast as, say, a more shallow pattern. So we're not seeing the price rise that we would really hope out of a falling wedge yet. And it's turned more into some sideways motion, but we still managed to trade this very well, collecting in these lower areas. And we've tracked this inverted head and shoulder pattern, which occurred here, broke out, hit our targets. We took profit there, waited for it to come back in. Some people shorted it from here. We came back down, reaccumulated again into this head and shoulders pattern. And this could actually be a good little lesson for a head and shoulders pattern, because we got two that we can compare. If you can see right here, this neckline right here that connects the left shoulder, left shoulder, how horizontal that is, those have the tendency to play out the best when you come across a head and shoulders pattern, whether it be inverted like this one, or if it be the regular top patterns like this one right here. If they're level like that, you will get the best results and best probability to meet your measured moves. However, if you see this one has kind of a slant to it right there, okay, that affects performance. And it's also a pattern within a pattern. That's the reason we didn't actually get up to a full measured move. We did have price targets right there just for that purpose at 0.0073, right around 0.0074, and also this very important level, which is called a 0.168 Fibonacci zone. This is taken from a much larger move, and this is the halfway zone. This is where a lot of people will be looking to short this or sell and take profits, and that was also a take profit zone that we nailed beautifully. Unfortunately, this pattern did not have enough to keep going, and we did not get the upward break that we were so much hoping for. We fell back into the pattern, which is a sign possibly we'll get more downward action. Came to the bottom of the pattern, didn't have it enough to make past this area right here. That's a sign, further downward action. We fell through the pattern, and here we are today, looking at some possible more downside targets. But before that happens, there may be a little bit of upside, and you may be able to use that in your strategy, which may help you recover any losses or any drawdown that you may be experiencing during this. You may be able to recover just a little bit, because there is some evidence that we're going to look at right now that says this may be a bounce period. It could possibly be a bottom. Now, we could come back up to this area right here at the breakout, do another retest. If we break back into this pattern, that would tell us that we have more probability for some more upward action if that happens. However, we've got to look at the most realistic situation is usually when they come up for a retest, we get rejected and we come down lower. So we've got to look at that possibility. But if that does happen, this could be a good profit taking area for anyone getting into a trade now and hoping to get out here. Or if you're under the water here, this may break you above water enough to where you can get out of this trade and save your capital. So the first thing that I want to bring your attention to is I want to take a Fibonacci from right up here at the top down to the bottom of that leg right here, this area right there. I'm going to pull it out to the side so we can see it a little bit better. And you can see it gives us a level right here. I'm looking at this level right here, negative 0.27. That's a target that we could very realistically hit. That's coming in at 0.00422. It's right in line with this support level that we have measured out here at 0.0049. So right around the 4.2 area, that's a potential catch place that we may come down to and possibly bounce out of, because when that happens, we're looking at this being an accumulation range. And I'll touch upon that in just a minute. This is more of a zoomed out kind of thing for a longer range kind of swing trade, but it is possible this is a bottom of a range. If I do take a Fibonacci from this leg here to there where we got rejected, pull that on over, we can see that this area that we're getting a possible bounce at is the 0.272 area, which is a good bounce area. A lot of times you will catch a bounce there. So I am anticipating that we do get a bounce off of this. We bounced off the 1.414, holding very well upon the negative 272 area. We should bounce back up to this area at 0.00528, and then we've got to see if we got enough move to break above it or if we're going to get rejected there. I'm personally looking at taking some profit there on my current trade, and then we'll see later on if I want to get into it as we potentially visit these lower areas that will be coming down to as low as 0.004142 area or possibly down to 0.00366 area. It really depends on what goes on right now and what happens up here at the 0.0052 area as to where we play out. Now, if we take a look at our indicators, we can see that we did get a green dot here on the 4-hour market cipher time frame that we're looking at right now. That gives us confluence for what we're talking about as a possible relief rally for the short term, moving to the upside. The RSI is coming in extremely low at 26.49. We're well below the 30% level right here. So for trading this, you would officially wait for this RSI level to break above that, hold that, get a bounce, and start moving to the upside. That would be your buy signal right here if you're trying to get in on this for a shorter term trade. That should be enough to get us up here, and then you could sell before we come back possibly to our measured move here at 0.0036 area. Now, when I zoom out on digital bits to a much bigger time frame to the daily, we got some different things going on here. This is a much bigger picture that we're looking at, and it's very realistic. It's highly probable that we were mentioning about getting that retest and visiting some lower areas. I am looking for this area right here at 0.0042 that we've mentioned. It's a very real possibility that we could get a bounce from this area, and this could all just be a big accumulation phase where we will just trade sideways within this range, which for me, that's great, and that will play out excellent for my Bitcoin strategy. But there's also a possibility that this area may not hold. So we got to look at that. But that has not happened, and there is a good chance that we may get a bounce here at 0.004342 area and play around in this range. That does not happen. We break below this line, we would be looking at these areas down as low as 0.001718, maybe even possibly lower to our weekly support level right here at 0.00122. And I say that's a possibility because we have broken major market structure here. Now, we have not broken that on Bitcoin, and I'll show you that in the next chart. We're above this line, which could be interesting and could be a sign that, hey, Bitcoin's getting ready to go up. That's just a little speculative play on the divergences between the two prices here, the two price actions. But breaking below this major trend line, unless we get back up and get past it, we are coming back down, most likely to these areas down here. And if we do that, we may be looking at a much bigger double bottom scenario, which does kind of play out overall to my theory on this being a very huge rounding type bottoming pattern. Guys, we got about another year and a half for all these altcoins to potentially bottom out and either flatline on the bottom, or hopefully the ones we want to look for are ones that go flat and we know have potential, and we want to look at fundamentals to get some information on that, and also ones that have a slow rounding bottom that you see play out over weeks. Those are some really good ones to look at, and this one potentially seems to be doing that. How that happens is after the bull market starts and we get past all this accumulation zones, these guys blast off pretty hard and heavy, and they deserve to because they spent so much time accumulating down here at the bottom. Here we are on the DigitalBits XDB-BTC pair. Okay, now this is very interesting to me. There's a very good probability, and actually the whole reason why I'm even in on this coin is so that I can increase my Bitcoin. And I'll get down with that strategy here very shortly. But right now, what I want to draw your attention to are these two trend lines. Now, I've got a red one, which signifies the bottom. This is equivalent to the one that we just looked at on the USDT chart that it broke through. On the Bitcoin chart, we have not made it down there that far. However, there is another secondary trend line right here that we so far have found a bounce off of. Now, that to me is a positive sign, meaning that we could have some more upward action here on the Bitcoin pair, which would be beautiful in my book, because it's not going to take very much for that at these levels of 290 Satoshis, getting up here to around 400 or 500 Satoshis again, it's an easy double on your Bitcoin on this particular trade. But there's some bearish signs to look here. First of all, we broke market structure, right? We came down below here. It was looking like we had a possible inverted head and shoulders that was getting ready to play out beautifully there. But of course, things happened in the market we had no control over. That did not work out, but it was looking so beautiful, so beautiful. Now we're looking at something else, okay? We have not broke past this area right here, this other shoulder, and as long as we stay above that, meaning that we get a bounce where we are, I'm looking for us to come back up to at least about 400 Satoshis. And that might be a good area to consider taking a little bit of profit on this. If you were to look at trading this on the Bitcoin pair, I'm here on the 4 hour, if you got in right where price is at 290 Satoshis, and we were able to make it back up, of course, we'd have to get past this level here at 319. But if we were to make it back up to this area right here in our high, that's a 22% return there. That's a risk to reward ratio of 4.33, which is incredibly insane. The reason that this is looking so attractive is because your risk to reward is so small. You can put your stop loss right down here, risk 5%, or let's say a $500 trade right here. You would be risking what, about $20 to make 100? That's not bad. And even if the trade doesn't get back, let's say we bounce at this neckline. If you took the trade here, that's a 12% increase just on spot price. That's not including any leverage. That gives you a risk to reward of 2.4. It's not bad. What I'm seeing here, that could be a very real possibility. We could be coming up to this area, get rejected at that 325 Satoshi area, and we could see more downward action here because we do have nicely formed yet huge head and shoulders, which could take us down to some crazy low levels if that works out. Thomas Wachowski gives these about a 61% chance to reach their target, which would bring us right down here, right in line with our support level at 253 Satoshi. So we could be seeing a breakdown to that area. If things just really go south, we would be coming down to retest this area right here at this lower trend line that we do not need to break. So we definitely have to hold this for any hope of upward action at all. And that's at 223 Satoshis. So there's a lot of trade potential here, just depending on whether you're going long or short or trading spot, or if you find some place to trade leverage. But there seems to be a possibility for some short-term up action, but overall some possibility for us to come back and retest some of these lower areas as we make a greater overall accumulation zone out of this, which will continue, for months and months. But during that big long accumulation, we can see these bumps and spikes that we can profit off of and actually use and trade to even increase our positions or just take the profit and run. Guys, I hope this information has been helpful for you. Any questions, comments that you have are welcome below. If you don't mind, on your way out, hit that like button, help the channel grow and help this information to reach other people. Keep your eye on your trades, trade safely, trade carefully, and just remember, you got this, baby.
Good afternoon, everyone. Captain Lane speaking, and wishing you a safe travels to your crypto destination. For those of you traveling with mice, please securely position your cursor over the like button below and right-click with your favorite finger. For those with touchscreen devices, we ask that you gently press the thumbs up near the bottom of your screen. Thank you for choosing Road Dog Crypto. Please trade wisely and enjoy the rest of your video.
Is that a UFO?